Uh, I I had like a moment where I kind of hit like a stint.
Yeah,
Uh, I think a lot of it was just me only playing Venture.
yeah,
Uh, a little bit restricting.
yeah.
Uh, I since have got over that stint. I
Mm-hmm.
climbed a little bit further.
Good.
Uh, but then I heard bans were happening, and I was like, gosh, fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, you know, I so I you know I need to expand my air pool, and now I'm kind of just I don't know. I'm looking for some direction in uh I guess how to play
Sure.
these how to improve, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh
I get it.
yeah,
I get it. Okay. How long you been playing overall?
uh, I played a lot in Overwatch 1 very early days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and then I stopped playing
Sure. Why?
or like I just like I don't know. All my friends stopped playing, so I stopped playing.
Yeah,
But
makes
I
sense.
but back then I was like very like I was not competitive about it. I didn't
Yep.
care. I was just, and then I started again in Overwatch 2. Uh I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I kind of just and then what it was 2 seasons ago. I had like this moment of just like, fuck, I get it now. And then I just, I climbed from gold, uh, like low gold, silver, to masters in 2 seasons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So was it more like the improvement kind of motivated you, or did the motivation lead to the improvement, or a little bit of both?
I don't know. I'm like an obsessive person, so I think I just like I like started really enjoying it, and then I just like couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of just snowballed.
Kind of all or nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense. And so now we're on the all phase.
yeah,
And then venture. Now, really like venture. Was venture part of that process of applying yourself, or was venture
yeah,
just kind of like,
for sure.
okay, just happened
Venture.
to be the hero? Okay, go ahead.
No, no, I like when I found Venture happened, and then like soon after that, I was like, oh shit, this character's like it fits how I want to play the game.
Sure, sure.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, makes sense. And then you're being forced to expand stuff out. Um,
yeah.
why?
Well,
Hero
I don't
bands,
know.
big thing, right? But also seems like that started even before bands.
Yeah, well, like right before bands, I was just like, um, I had like, Circuit Royale second point. There's like few portions of maps that I think Venture kind of struggles on.
Yeah.
Uh, I think they're generally pretty good in most places, but and I kind of was feeling like I couldn't impact enough in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was being more of a hindrance during these portions. And it started eating away at me. I don't care that much about winning or losing, but I don't like being like the worst player on my team.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And it also makes sense with bands as well. Now, you said in messages Hanzo Cass.
Yeah,
Has that
I've
been
since
because they fill the gap that Venture doesn't perform? Or
uh
is there also a portion of, hey, I actually like these heroes too?
I really like Hanzo, but
Yeah.
yeah, actually just yesterday I think I decided I'm just gonna drop Hanzo completely. I have some hand issues, and because I'm on controller, I like holding it on the trigger.
Yeah.
I start shaking, so
Mm.
so kind of like I can't really consistently play Hanzo. But I really enjoy it. But
Okay. Now, when you say you
uh,
can't, is that something that you would be able to work through because you enjoy it, or is it like physiologically, it's
like
uncomfortable?
it's just uncomfortable. I just can't
Okay,
do it.
then don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Cass, I don't know. Cass kind of fills a lot of niches. Like I feel like I can play Cass pretty much anywhere. Like it just yeah. I have a like a pocket widow, but like that's like deep pockets kind of thing. Like
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay, I mean, I think you're on the right path of like looking at the right things, either characters that really fill that niche or characters that you really want to play. I mean, I would prefer for you to lean into the characters that you want to play because if you think about like, okay, I can't play Venture here, what should I play? Most characters are probably going to fill that niche better, with the exception of like, I don't know, Trace or Sombra, right? In which case, Venture would
Yeah.
probably fill that niche pretty well. But like
Well,
if you end up trying Cass and you like it, or Sojourn, or freaking Bastion, even like you're probably gonna any of those characters are gonna feel a little better in any situation where Venture doesn't feel that good.
that's true. It's really annoying actually because I really enjoy like before I played Venture, I played a lot of Tracer and um and Sombra.
Yep,
Uh,
tragic.
yeah, I know, right? Uh, it's I can't see a reason to play them anymore. So it's like I fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're good, but the point being is that like a lot of situations where Venture's bad, they're also going to be bad, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like Flashpoint, like super broad, wide open maps, Tracer Summer are definitely going to be better than Venture. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Venture's weak there either. So it's like if you're
Yeah.
talking about those circuit royales, Tracer Summer are not going to fit that problem. They're
Yeah.
not going to answer that problem very well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
even though like a super verticality maps like Gibraltar, Tracer Sombra are like okay there, but they're not like significantly better than Venture either.
Yeah. I think I like Venture better on the super vertical maps.
You can
Uh,
definitely make it work. Like there's a lot of potency there. Like you have drill
yeah.
dash, right? So you got problem or you got flexibility. So okay,
Yeah. Well, I just like being able to. I think Venture's really good at taking space
yep, agreed,
uh away from people. I
agreed.
think the vertical maps are, you know,
In an odd way, like Burrow and Drill Dash are almost like Translocator. Like
they
you
are.
have like
Yeah.
this, I mean, you almost have like this stealth thing where it's like, yeah, they
Yeah.
can technically see you, but they can't really do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you said, it's really good at taking space. Okay, so at the time of the forum, you'd hit Masters on console.
Yes.
I assume you're kind of somewhere in that ballpark.
No. Uh, I I dropped down to gold.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Okay, this is weird. I first of all, I hero bans happened and I like the hero bans were announced and everything. And I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck it, we're just gonna only play Cass. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the greatest idea.
Mm-mm.
But I really didn't care that much about my rank. I This season to me is more of a throwaway season. I want to make sure that I have the tools for next season
Sure,
more than
sure, sure.
but then I had my fucking what are they called? The placements. And 9 out of the 10 placements I had a lever.
Oh gosh, that's
So
rough.
yeah. And I don't like I honestly I think my cast is probably around low plat.
Yeah,
Uh but like I really I've struggled a lot to switch like my brain into like not venture
yeah, yeah,
because I put so much thought into venture.
yeah.
Uh so like I think I take too deep angles. I do a lot of things that just really like. I also really find it hard to figure out where Cass is supposed to play
Yep. Yep. We can work on
because
that.
yeah, I don't know, like just range wise because it feels like I'm either like too far in or too uh far away because like I don't know.
Yep. I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, now, what's your plan long term? Is it to just get your cast up to speed to a venture level and then grind the basically be a two trick? Like, what's the long term plan for you, hero pool wise?
Uh well, the plan was a three trick, and I'm trying to figure out another character that I want to play. So I've been
I
playing
mean,
some
hey,
different.
Cass is better in Circuit Royale than freaking Venture,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, I want the third just because I know there's like it can be two per roll or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if I get completely banned out, then I'm fucked.
Yeah, but think about the odds of that, right?
That's true. But I mean,
Sh-
I still
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that would be
I'm
literally one out of like 500 games, I feel like. But I mean, listen, if you want the
okay. You
insurance,
say
go for
that,
it.
but also I feel like Venger's not very liked. So that's
True. That's true.
uh
But also at the same time, then that's still like the odds of a venture ban, I feel like, are not super high. Like one out of 100 games, maybe something like, well, maybe not one out of 100, maybe one out of like 50 games, would be my guess.
maybe
And then
yeah,
if you're like, okay, Cass is banned, then like, what are the odds that then Cass gets banned? So,
that's true.
if it's more along the lines of you want to learn another hero, like, yeah, go for
Yeah.
it. Sure. Why
Well,
not?
yeah, it was kind of both. So, but yeah, I think probably two trick or three trick. Uh, I guess two trick and then three trick if you include the what else?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Goals are to become a three trick. I assume that you're probably in an experimentation phase for number 3 at this point in time.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of a mess, right? Like you're both in a good spot and a bad spot. The good spot is that you're in a perfect spot for experimentation, rank wise,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yes.
low plat, high gold, whatever. Like there's really no character that I mean, very few characters that you're going to be at like a low gold level. I imagine, even just with your base understanding of the game, like you'll be fine to experiment more.
Yeah.
I would
Although
caution. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm having like a really hard time in games recently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not tilted, but I really hate like low quality matches,
Yeah,
and I have had very few good quality matches
yeah,
since the rank reset. Like it's
yeah.
either a stomp one way or the other, and I feel like
That's how rank resets go. Yeah,
yeah,
you're just gonna have
I
to
hate
suffer
it.
through it. Sadly, it was worse than Rivals, because that game's MMR is a mess. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, sadly, there's no solution. Like you, partly that's rank reset, but also partly it's because you dropped a gold mate. You know, like
yeah, yeah,
so you're kind of screwed either way. So the best way of thinking about it is don't become a hard stuck player because you're like putting expectations on your teammates. Like
yeah.
basically what ends up happening is like you lose a bunch of games due to your personal errors,
Hmm.
and then you start like getting frustrated at like what's happening and like how people are playing, and then as a
Yeah,
result you start playing worse, and then it spirals. Like I have worked with like masters level players who drop the plat in similar situations like that, and not even because they swapped heroes, because you're like, oh, I dropped the gold, yeah, but like they're literally playing the same heroes. They just got in a
yeah,
bad tilt streak, and then they get mad at their teammates, and then, yeah, they go down the toilet. So don't let that be you. Go in, just have fun. If you have levers, GG's. Quit as soon as you possibly can, and go from there. But
yeah,
I don't know. Treat this as an experimentation phase. You'll survive. The seas will settle. Rank reset will sort itself out. You'll sort itself out.
yep,
Now, if you're going to be experimenting, now's as good as time as any because you don't really have anything to lose.
yep, yep.
Now, are we looking at Cassidy?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's go through the
I've
form with that lens. Go ahead.
Sure. I forget what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Then. No,
Well,
so no, it's my bad. Okay. I would like to understand the better what to work on while playing. For me, this I means more setup in some maps, just overall understanding of when it's okay to trade out, make aggressive plays, what should be looking for when to know when to go in. Obviously, I feel like this was more for Venture, but I think
yeah,
the same thing probably applies to Cassidy as well. You kind of described. I don't know what this guy's range is. I feel like I take really really deep flanks, and I struggle. How do I play this hero essentially?
yeah.
Hero pool playtime. What are you looking at right now?
Uh, this week I have midterms. Uh,
Yep.
so not much this week. I
Yep.
played like 6 games yesterday, but that's kind of been it.
What do you predict? Like, what do you anticipate the next few weeks?
Probably I do my best to play at least like an hour a day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I spend like an hour or so going uh over like maps and stuff in how uh theory crafting essentially.
Interesting. How does that usually go? Like, what do you do?
Well, I did a lot for Venture. I haven't yet done it for Cass, but I took a bunch of like the 2D like from the top down map views,
Yeah.
and I kind of just drew lines uh where I thought Venture where I want to take fights, where I think fights are really shit for Venture,
Yep.
where uh I think it's okay to probably trade out,
Sure.
uh where like lines that probably places people will play generally,
Yep. Yep.
just kind of stuff like that.
Sure.
Um,
That can work.
for Venture it was easier because I could be like, hey, I'll go here, I'll force people out of this place, then I'll go here, force people out of this place.
Yeah. Yeah. That works. I think because so much of positioning is contextual,
Yeah,
not just on where people are, but like what composition that they're running.
yeah,
Like
I can
what's
probably show you an image of this actually.
that'd be great. Yeah. Go for it.
Da, 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 da. Give me 1 second.
Take your time.
My phone. Uh, you can keep talking. I'm listening.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's not a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
lot here. I mean, I would say that like in general, if you want like biggest bang for your buck, I know the stat banana overheads are pretty cool, but it's kind of a bad time to be saying this because the replay viewer is bugged until midseason. Have you
Yeah.
had that bug yet?
Yes, I have.
It's really frustrating. So it's sadly it's going to be here until midseason. But I would say moving past that, if you were to look at like if you were to spend that hour, biggest study return on investment, I would say going into replay viewer and looking at the way each fight broke out and looking at where your staging was and coaching yourself from that. So it's more a three-dimensional space, two-dimensional, doesn't really matter, whatever. But the big thing is that you're actually going, okay, where did I actually set up? Because I think Overwatch, as the game evolves, is a very dynamic game in how you position. There are no hard rules about where you hold with any character at any point in time. You could do your best on first fight to guess where is probably going to be a good starting position, but then as the rest of the game, literally every fight afterwards is pretty much just, oh, this is where they are, this is where I should be. You know, for Venture, you have verticality, you have short sight lines, you have self-sustain, so you're pretty flexible with where you can position. But that means that every, like, there's like, if I'm thinking about like even Lijiang Tower Control Center, there are like 4 or 5 different angles that I can take completely depending on what's going on in the battlefield right there. And so I think like what you're doing is valuable. But if you wanted to, like I'm looking at this right here. Yeah, this is Stat Banana. I mean, this is sick, right? This is really, really cool. But you could also just go in game into the replay viewer and do this too, right? And be like, this is...
So normally,
go ahead.
I do it on both because I find writing it down kind of just helps me generally remember things.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense. Long term, I'd like to have a better understanding of the game to solve it, just because it's fun to do so. I mean, that's consistent with what we're seeing here. I'd like to find out what my bad habits are and to get a better understanding of how to play individual maps. There are specific situations within a bunch of maps that just end up getting lost, not knowing how to attack their team. I think the hardest part about a lot of mobile characters is that because you have so much flexibility, you have the responsibility. I think people don't understand. A lot of people look at mobility as a get out of jail free card, but that's a very ignorant way of looking at it. Mobility is responsibility, where if you don't use the mobility to take the right positions, you will be outvalued by hit scan.
Yes.
That's the rule. Cassidy has less mobility, so he generally has fewer positional choices, so that then his kit is then amped up to compensate, essentially. So that often means that a lot of mobility characters have higher skill and maybe even value ceilings, but that means that a lot of hit scans have lower skill floors if you ignore the mechanical side of things. So for Venture, like we said, there's always 4 or 5 different angles you could take almost at any given time. With Cassidy, it's going to be more like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Now, your unfamiliarity with that is what we'll look at today. But yeah, okay. Mechanics could always be better, but I really feel like it's an issue with timing my engages and map understanding. I feel like, again, that probably applies to Cassidy too. Consistency needs work.
I will say my mechanics are significantly worse on Cass. I'm just not used to the hit scan yet.
Yep. Okay. Makes sense.
Since I've started playing him, I've gotten better with it. But I still have like some really bad moments.
Sure. Mechanics are like a garden where you tend the soil, you plant the seeds, and then really just got to step back.
Yeah.
So for you, it's like, are you warming up? Are you putting time in with Vaxta or Deathmatch? Right?
I do not warm up.
Okay. Probably something to look into. Even if it's just 5 minutes, put the time in. Put the Vaxta time in. Put the time in Deathmatch. You're familiar with Vaxta at the workshop? Okay. Yeah. Vaxta would be great. Deathmatch would be great. Consistency with playtime. And then making small adjustments, and whether that's like adjusting crosshair placement, trigger discipline, little things like that. And then really that's about all you can do. Yeah, you get the reps. It'll take care of itself. But I think just being aware of those boxes, and we will look at those mechanical things in game as well. But then just let it happen. It'll take care of itself. But making sure that you're creating the environment for it to grow. Okay.
Yeah.
Consistency needs work. I do 1 billion damage and killed a lot of me. Sometimes I struggle to get 1 damage. Is that the case with Cassidy as well?
Yes. I have some medical issues.
Yeah. I see that with the sleep. It's fine.
Yeah. It just makes my consistency all over the place.
Unfortunate. It happens.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this is something that I've been working on a little bit more recently. is I noticed that a lot of times with consistency, and I really dropped the ball with this, is because I even have a video on consistency and it doesn't even talk about it, so I'm a moron. Map compositional matchups, big deal.
Yeah.
So we talked about this with Venture, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm not sure what to do in this map or Circuit Royale. You know, maybe there's certain characters like, you know, Venture versus Roadhog, Venture versus Cassidy. Like, if you don't know that matchup, you're going to lose it every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I actually really liked the Venture versus Cass match. And I think it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's challenging, right? Anything that's challenging
Yeah.
kind of locks you in. But I guess my point being is that, like, it could be inconsistency through medical issues, and it probably is. However, I think for what you can control, there's going to be a lot of satisfaction about finding consistency through, I always know what I need to do, so that the only inconsistency comes through execution, not through ignorance. And I think that's kind of like the ultimate goal. You know, there's some situations when you just can't do anything, right? Playing Winston versus Reaper Bastion, Circuit Royale, Roadhog, there's nothing you can do. But, you know, what if you're playing Winston on Flashpoint? Do you know how to make that work? You know, how do you play Venture versus Cassidy? Because, like, you feel empowered, but a Plat Venture or a Silver Venture might feel overwhelmed and frustrated, right? And so that's where it becomes more to ignorance and so on. Okay, well, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, with the Cassidy side of things as well. And yeah, okay, any other questions before we jump in here?
I think that's it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Actually, you can just drop the replay code and we'll get started here. Give me 1 second.
Yes. I have two. I will say both of them are kind of, they're not what I wanted.
That's fine. That's fine. There'll be plenty to look at.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, I think this one's better.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, take it on.
Okay, back. Sorry about that. Let's
You're good.
let's take a look here. And because I'm bold, I'm gonna crash my Overwatch.
Oh yes, love that.
Let's see if it works.
This one seemed pretty much fine on mine.
All right, about a quarter of them are, but sadly it's only about a quarter. Aggressive, skipping around. Usually this test works. I'd say it's about, yeah, there it is. Okay, so that's okay. We will make adjustments. So we'll have to be nice and patient and go nice and slow.
Yeah.
I think the worst part is that you can never go back.
Yeah,
You can't go back. You just, like, you know, I don't mind not skipping forward. It's all right, you know, whatever. But, like, oh, if I missed a rewind opportunity, well, I guess it's gone forever. Now BattleNet's not even pulling up for me.
Oh no.
I think we're okay. We're good. So why this code? I know you said that you weren't, like, super pleased with the code, but
I played 6 games yesterday.
yeah,
I lost 5 of the 6.
right.
3 were due to levers. I have had a really bad luck this season with levers, but it's whatever.
Is it this one here, the B6880?
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing this. I'm done. Yeah.
But this one, I felt like I played decent, but I also felt like I learned a lot this game.
Sure.
We lost, but it was like fairly close.
Are you back in stream? I restarted Discord. You might have to click around a little bit to see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here.
Yep.
Okay, so fairly close game. Not a lever game.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me. So let's talk about cast positioning. Venture cast positioning is very similar with one difference, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Cast, you have a bit more range flexibility, obviously. You have, honestly, similar effective ranges. Cast maybe by another 5-10 meters deeper, but not like that different. But Cast has a bit more flexibility in that range, and you have a bit more flexibility in the depth of the angle, right? Yes. So in other words, how far behind. And this is not news to you. So I guess that's kind of what you're looking for. So I look at the enemy composition. It's like, I'm not scared of Torb up close. I'm not scared of Sojourn. I'm not scared of Kiriko. I'm not scared of Mercy. And while I would prefer not to play patty cake with Ramatra and melee range, I even have tools to deal with that, right? Yeah. But at the same time, if you fill in the blank with all 4 of those characters, I mean, I guess Mercy's whatever, but like, I don't want to snipe Torb. I don't want to snipe Kiriko or Sojourn. Those guys will ruin me, right? And even
Yes.
looking at your own composition, right? You've got Ashe, you've got Lifeweaver, you've got characters that, I mean, I'm not exactly scared of getting sniped by Lifeweaver, but honestly, that guy doesn't have fall off, right? Like, so like, I mean, I'm not scared of him at all, but I don't want to take tickle damage, and obviously a damage boosted Ashe is like, that's a nightmare for me. So basically, what they've done over time, and I don't remember how much of Cassidy you followed back in the day in Overwatch 1, but this guy has seen more range adjustments than like anything. It's actually crazy.
Yes.
Like, he used to have crazy no fall off, and it was just really bad because he outperformed Hanzo and Soldier and Ashe, and now he's really kind of sit inside his niche, very similar to what they did with Winter Soldier, with just enough flexibility to kind of be able to poke out situations when you need to poke out. So I kind of like where he's at right now. So basically what you think with Cassidy is what would be an angle that I would take with Venture to pressure during my setup phase for going for backline or going for a deeper angle, but then you don't, you stop. You stop.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to. Like, I look at this composition here. This composition that I'm playing into is not really going to have a diver to chase me down, but they're also very slow, so then I can take deep flanks. It's just where am I taking those flanks, right? Because I don't have that gap closer of, you know, burrow, drill dash, whatever, that allows me to close the distance on deeper flanks. So if I take a deep flank and I'm not doing good damage from where I'm at, I'm kind of screwed.
Yes.
Okay. If questions come up, just let me know.
Yep, I'll do.
So first things first, this is like the Venture flank, right? Because remember we said there's only 2 or 3 positions with Cassidy, as opposed to the Venture's going to have 4 or 5. This is going to be one. The other one's going to be like here, right? Angling here.
Yeah.
And the other one's going to be somewhere like here or here, somewhere along this spectrum here. This is definitely the more like medium risk and medium reward one.
Yeah.
This is low risk, low reward, right? Just based off of how much you're peaking. And let's not lie. This is high risk, high reward. But
Very
at the
much
same
so.
time, it's good.
Yes. It's funny to I'm pretty sure I do the other 2 ones too. So that's good to feels good for me.
I think positioning is universal.
Yeah.
At least it should be, right? Like, we'll ignore the levers. If you were to analyze a lot of your Cassidy play, you'd probably tell yourself if you were in a good or bad position just based off your familiarity with Venture. You know, once you get to a high level position with any character, you're already like halfway there with like most characters. So, like right now, you know, like, okay, this on paper makes sense. Now, give credit to the Torb. That's a pretty nasty angle that he's got there, right? That's a nice little crossfire. But like, I mean, this is just mechanics, right? Yeah. If you look at the way that you approach this duel, it was pretty reasonable, right? I wish I could skip back, but I will not. You know, you peeked here, you realize, oh no, Torb, you tuck in. The only thing I would say is maybe be a bit faster with the Hinder when the Sojourn comes up top. Like, you don't need to save it for anything. You did use it, which is fine, but yeah, there's no real complaint from me.
Yep. Okay.
So now we sit here patiently and can't skip forward. Nice. Pat the replay viewer in the head.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing excellent. But yeah, I mean, like, you took a risk, calculated risk, didn't pay off. Your cooldown usage was okay. Go next, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of what we talked about, like, your effective range, right? Where, like, shooting somebody in the back from this angle, this is good, right? This is where Venture couldn't do this, right? Good crosshair placement, by the way, so far. Like, you're kind of keeping it right at the head. A little low there. And then you have Hinder here, so you should just ruin this guy. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have no criticisms. Nice job. Besides, hit more headshots next time. Because I am definitely, you know me, I hit nothing but headshots. So anybody that doesn't hold to my standard of mechanics is a failure.
Of course, that makes sense.
Now, this is where things get hairier, but it's not because there are more options. It's almost because there are fewer, if that makes sense. Like, you don't really, it's more open, right? So give me 3. Give me 3.
Looking back on this, I actually really like taking top there on the right side.
Yeah, so here?
The room. Yeah.
Yeah. Assuming that they're not in the high ground. And this is, okay, so this is why I didn't have an issue with your stat banana, but this is why you need to put an asterisk on your stat banana. Because this is like, oh, this is bad because they're going to play high ground, right? But they're not.
Yeah. Sorry,
You
I
know?
meant in this situation.
But that's exactly my point, right? That's
Yeah.
exactly my point. It's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
looking at the situation right now and you are making the correct call. I agree with you. But this
Yeah.
is why you need to look at things honestly from a case by case basis, probably
Yeah.
more in the replay viewer than just a
Yes.
theory crafting. Because you're right. This is probably the best position you could take. This position here is that low risk, low reward. You can kind of angle here. And then in
Yeah.
terms of high risk, high reward, probably something like this, right?
Yeah. I
I
have a
went ahead and
question.
cheated for you, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Would the other side be good here at all?
As in
In like,
playing here?
yeah.
Yeah, it would. It
Okay.
would. More of a medium risk, medium reward with, but
Yeah.
yeah, and this would be good too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This ends now.
And this is where you can kind of rotate because you've kind of been reset and you know your team's on the right. You need to swing left now,
Okay.
and that's exactly what you do. And you kind of feel it. It just makes sense. You know, it just
Yeah.
makes sense to do this.
Yeah.
Like right now, it makes sense not to swing wide and peek here. It makes sense to deepen the angle, peek up top. I got my CDs. Let's go.
It's high tide.
One thing, I do not know how to use this ult.
What you just did was fine. Just do it better. So in other words, when you sit here, hold the angle and just keep looking at the tank or look at the backline. You try to chase a kill and then you lost all your positioning and then you
Got it.
lost LOS of the person ironically you were trying to zone out. So you picked up the perk for this exact use,
Yes.
right?
Mostly because I struggle to use the other one just because of my hand.
It's fine. You had like the basically think of high noon. Okay, here there are two parameters for high noon. Two parameters for high noon that are the simplest ones. One, take an angle. Two, don't go first.
Yeah.
That's it. Now we got sleep dart, and you got what about this, and what about it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Take an angle. That stuff is like level. There's like level 2 understanding of high noon, right? You took an angle and you didn't go first, and so the high noon gets value. It's not great, but this character should die. This Ramatra should get his ultimate forced. Now, if you want extra details, two extra things I'd consider. One, CC, which goes without saying, right?
Yeah.
But the other one that people forget is snipe.
Yeah.
Snipe with this ultimate. You all of a sudden can play angles like a Widowmaker when you have this. So you still want to take an angle. Go ahead.
Doesn't that fall off?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous range. Like, it significantly amplifies your range.
Like,
The wiki says it doesn't have fall off. In my experience, it basically doesn't have fall off. So if it does have fall off, it's like extremely minor. To the point where you can literally, I mean, you could just be here and be sniping people on the high ground across. So yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, so basically, start with the first do, angle, don't go first. You kind of did that here. I don't like how you fell down trying to chase the kill. But at the same time, like, this still should get value. Case in point, right? Like, that's the high noon, what just happened right there. It's hard to kind of correlate between the two, but the reason she doesn't have Suzu, the reason she doesn't have TP, the reason she's so out of position is because she had to TPN, right? She had to get away. Decent control of your clip there. Like, you weren't, like, panicking there.
Yeah.
Good target priority here. Good. Honestly, even the standing still, right? Like, you might as well. Ram's not even looking at you.
Yeah. I got that from one of your videos.
Yeah. Good stuff.
You were teaching a widow.
Yep. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Those are one of those habits that we talked about that you need to get into right now to help your mechanics, right? And that's a habit that you're going to want to have for the rest of your hit scan career. Yeah. Good. Very, very nice fight from you. Good rotation. High noon was well timed. CD usage, target priority. In terms of shooting the ram and then pivoting to Mercy when she got too close. So, yeah. Good angle here.
Would it be good to push like further on the left side here? I was worried that like my team wasn't there or whatever.
No. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Yeah, like yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to overextend here because like yeah, you're up a couple, but also your team is kind of pushing cart back here. So just kind of hover here, hold the angle, and then kind of see how the fight evolves, and then make your decision about positioning on the fly. Because like if they push you up, like even this is a little bit dangerous, just because of where you are in relation to your team. So you should probably be okay because you know, Cassidy. Yeah, but that's kind of like. It's a good kill on Kiri. I respect it. But at the same time, this is not really where your team was fighting, and you kind of got face tanking a tank.
Yeah.
It wasn't a horrible decision. It was just a high-risk play. But you weren't exactly playing an angle here.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean, he needed the annihilation to clean it up, but still. Would have preferred here to be like more patient. Okay, my card's underneath. I can go and start to rotate away from Ram, kind of play a Ram, rotate away, that kind of a thing. Keep your distance on Ram.
Okay, cool.
Push your advantage if he's low, but he was not low.
Not exactly what I expected.
But at the same time, like 2 ults, some decent trades, we can live with that. Now, this is where things get a little bit tricky. So you kind of can just, you have to make a choice here, right? Do I push left? Do I push right? Do I push under and sneak up behind? Again, we kind of scale of risk here. I want to see what you do. Sure. Good. I would not hesitate to hinder in those situations.
The Ram?
Yes.
Or
the Ram.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Ram. Just any sort of pressure on anything that's in your face, totally worth it. It's also pretty much free damage in terms of the timing of how it slows up your bullets. So, you could noon this if you wanted, just to guarantee the fight win. Because any sort of stagger kill here, and you're fine.
It's
think we lose
high
this.
tide.
Yeah, this is just bad.
Yeah,
This is bad. This is bad. Just
Yeah.
shoot him in the face or noon from main. Those are your, or
Yeah.
not from main, but you know what I'm saying. Noon from
height.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah, noon from top. Yeah, or right. Yep.
Thanks, Doc.
The time to kill with high noon is significantly lower up close than just shooting.
Okay.
Significantly lower. Yeah. You got the roll perk. That's the correct one. Just get him. And then roll away from him. And then hinder. Hinder is too slow. I think you die either way. I think this is okay, though. You went for a play. You didn't quite get it. Ram focused you down. And you died. That's it. Main thing here is you needed to kill the Torb and not waste your high noon. That was it.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest with you, mate. From what we're seeing so far, I don't know if this is how you consistently play, but where are you at rank-wise right now?
Gold 1.
This is looking more like mid-plat.
Well, yeah, that's like roughly what
It's
I
just
said.
the levers, right?
Yeah.
It happens. But this is definitely more like mid-plat. This angle is probably not great, but it's a good for a start. Mostly because it's now becoming a little too far. So where's your rotation from here? Let's practice.
Either I deepen left side into that room, far.
Oh, that doesn't make as much sense, though, because you said deepen, but it's actually shallowing.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. My terminology is not that great.
That's okay.
But then, or I could go right side into
You need
the
to go
room.
right side. You need to go right side.
Yeah.
Your idea of being here as Cassidy is fine if you have roll and hinder and stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you can't teleport here.
Yeah.
If you're a
Sorry,
venture, you could,
that's-
but you can't,
Yeah.
right? No, that's okay. This is why we're talking these things through, right? I want you to make mistakes in your thinking.
Yeah.
Because if you rotate here with where your tank is, it's just too easy for Ramato to shut you down. So for you here, this is an angle, yes, but it's an angle that might be a little too far. Now, you could just plink and shoot tank. You could LOS the Torb if you want to. Or you could rotate inside right to close the distance and deepen your angle. So this does two things. Number one, it's a more aggressive, more demanding look at me angle, which is more value. But also, it's just 5 meters closer.
Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of the way I look at things. I don't think where you're at is bad. Let me be very clear. Like, this is fine. It's just not the most impact that you possibly can have. And I think it's a good habit to always be asking yourself, what more could I be doing? I actually don't think you need to move away. I think you have 4 here. I think you should take it. I think you have 4 here. No, okay, not quite.
Yeah.
But you could honestly play this. This is still winnable.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm pretty sure I thought that like my entire team had died, and I'm not entirely sure why I thought that.
Smoke, there's fire.
Your Ash got it. That's funny.
It's high tide.
You're not first. You're on an angle. It works. Hinder. Yep. Crosshair placements looked okay. It's a tad low. So most of the time when I'm coaching somebody that's new to hit scan, I'm expecting like belly height crosshair placement. You've done better. You've got chest. So it still needs to be a little bit higher, just in general. Like you are pulling it up to the head, but at that point it's a little too late. So that first or second shot. So just pull it up just a little bit. Now I know people's hitboxes are different, But
Yeah, I really struggled because like I struggled changing where my
yeah,
crosshair should be placing.
think about Venture, right?
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand. It's difficult. Yeah, I mean, good space, good positioning for the most part. The noon was good, again because it was on an angle, and it was not the first thing that was happening on the battlefield. So
this was one of the big reasons why I actually chose this code. For the ones we played, we got spawn camped here, and I do not know how to break this as Cass.
do you smell the angle to your left?
Yeah, sorry, no, not right here. Here's
Not right here.
Here,
Okay. You should definitely take the angle to the left. Why? What's the problem with what you're seeing here?
there's not much.
Yeah, it's effective range stuff, right? You see, this just feels a little outside of your range.
Yeah.
So, and deep in the angle, do the exact same thing. Potential that you die, but at least you get closer.
Yeah.
Spawn camping is broken by somebody taking an angle or a risk and hitting a shot. Because you are much less punished for death. So it encourages you to go for high risk, high reward. Think about it this way. Imagine if you had a 3-second respawn, enemy team had a 10-second respawn. High risk, high reward plays would be just strategically better.
Okay.
Because every mistake that you make is less punished by the enemy team, and that's literally what's happening here. Because you literally have a 8-second respawn, not just to get back to the fight, but to start shooting people, right?
Yeah.
These guys have 15, 20-second respawn time. So this is like fine, but smoke a little crack here. Do something silly. You're not going to get punished for it, and you getting traded here is totally fine. The other thing, too, as well, this is not something you can completely control, but spawn camping punishes trickling very badly because people think, we're just doing a spawn, I can walk out and, I'm not safe, right? Because the fight location is shifted and you have to pivot. So I would look at this and be like, okay, my Doomfist is out. I need to take an angle here. And yeah, this is fine, but the problem is that this is like a fine angle. This is like medium risk, low risk, or word, whatever. Yeah. But that's not good enough for a spawn camp.
Got it.
I need high risk. Like, this is good damage, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. In any other circumstance, this would be a good angle. But this is not good enough for the situation. It's still good. Like, you forced annihilation, and you should have lived that, right? If you'd managed your cover a little bit better. But, just one of those little details. I think you can go out right. No, you can't. Okay, so you walk out, and you go right there. Shoot, there has to be... No, yeah, this is not...
really...
It feels like there should be a wall here, like an opening on
I
here.
agree. Yeah.
Definitely. Not something you see very often, but yeah. That's funny. You made the same mistake I did. Yeah.
It's high tide.
Angle, yes. Going first, no. Now, this is fine because you have the perk, so you can create space.
Can I give you my logic here?
Please.
I saw the pedal, and I thought,
I see.
could, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I actually ended up completely doing it, but
I don't know if you can make it. I mean, maybe at the very end at the high noon. Oh, you got shout. Yes, this will work. So hey, yeah, that's fine. The problem here is we're still back to shooting ram. It's again target priority usually doesn't matter. Like, you can take a nice HP trade here, but like I just think one more kill here just to make sure. Throw your body. Find an angle, sneak up on the torp. I think that cast is still behind you. I think he's still behind you.
Is he?
Wait, am I going crazy? No, he's not. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm going crazy. This replay bug is taking it on me personally. Yeah. Nice. I think you can make that. I think you can make that roll with the pedal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, and it's a situation that you're never going to run into again, but I just had to point it out.
Is
Go ahead.
Hydra ever even good for cast?
With high noon?
Sorry, without high noon.
No.
No.
I mean, okay,
yeah,
so here's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with Venture. When you take high ground, you're not really planning to stay, but it gives you information, gives you options, right?
Yeah.
So I will say, situationally, sure, if somebody's like directly under you, or if you rotate to high ground here, again, you can create some space here. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just probably not with where this fight's going to be, somewhere you'll likely stay. But in the meantime, you can just chill. I would be really actively thinking about where my next angle is. I think you're kind of thinking about it right there. But the problem is that you needed to be there now. Like, you need to be here now. Because this is about to get really ugly right here.
Yeah.
We need you here. We could also maybe use you here. This is, like, a little less good. But, like, you could kind of see, like, this just sucks. Like, this sucks. Like, this would feel so much better from both a risk and a reward standpoint. So you just got a little complacent here. Again, to be fair, it's a difficult point. Why?
It's kind of like, how do I say this? People are on you, but also, like, there's no good, like, sight lines.
Yeah, it's wide open, right? There's a reason why people literally swap Widowmaker here, even in high-level play, right? Just because this point is oppressive. But at the same time, you still have kit, tools, short range, hinder, roll, little cover there, you know, make something happen. But, okay. Honestly, like, you know, we talked about it already, but this has been a fine performance. And I think for what your goals are with the character, there's still a lot that you can be improving at, but I think you can rest assured that if this is how you're playing, that Plat's probably going to be something that you achieve pretty soon. But in terms of the angles that we're taking, can still do a lot better.
Yes.
I think the spawn camp one we can kind of not ignore, but just kind of pocket into our niche situations, but still, with everything else, could have been a lot better. A little faster with using Hinder when we're getting pushed. A little later when we're using High Noon. A little bit higher with our crosshair placement. Little things like that.
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
Yeah, actually one. That's not anything to do with what we've actually gone over. Is it ever worth it to be in team chat?
No.
Okay. Because in Masters, I felt like it sometimes was.
Voice, yes. Chat, no.
Sorry. Yeah. I meant voice.
Voice. I mean, no.
No. Okay.
But with more of an asterisk than chat.
Yeah.
Because theoretically there are calls that you can make, and it's still the vast minority of games, especially in Plat or Gold. But yeah, I mean, at least there is technically an upside with voice because like there's actual coordination occasionally. But yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just like early poke, but you got to ask yourself like, where's my long-term angle here? And I think your body language here is speaking truth here. This is good.
I think I do something kind of stupid here.
Well, you're like, my Malga's holding past the choke, so I want to kind of poke from here. That's fine.
No, I mean...
Oh, something even stupider than that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready. Are you going to roll in and fan? Okay. High risk, high reward. I don't hate it. See, this is the difference between you and Venture. For Venture to apply pressure here, I mean, honestly, even Venture, like you could just stand here and primary fire, right?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't go for a combo because of the amount of cooldown. So you get, so the same thing kind of applies here. This is fine. Just don't use your roll. Just shoot from the corner. A little too much strafing, you notice that?
Yeah.
And then just run away. I don't have a problem with this.
Fine. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
this is fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem. It's high risk, high reward, but it is high risk, high reward. It's not high risk, medium reward, or high risk, low reward, right?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. You're not the reason why this was lost.
Okay.
Now, the interesting thing here is you popped off here, but dropping was really stupid.
Okay.
But you broke the rules because you're trying to disengage to safety and then put yourself at risk by disengaging to safety.
Yeah.
Because you went from an angle. You go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just used to having more mobility to.
Yeah. You have to sit. You actually have to stay. You actually have to stay here or rotate to like here. You cannot do any of this in the open rotations. So it kind of goes back to like your muscle memory here. When I asked you where should you be on this angle, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna deepen left. I'm like, mate, you're not getting there. Like if you deepen left, you're gonna either be sitting behind your tank or rotating in the open. You're stuck.
Yeah.
So you can either deepen on right or shallow on right. You've stuck, right? Same thing here. You have made the commitment to this angle here. So you either stay here or you go here or you go here, but you are not going over here and you're not getting back to here. Yeah, so you actually hit some really nice shots. Like that's great, but my goodness gracious, this was a stupid rotation. You cannot do this stuff. So you're just on a tighter leash. Okay. You invest your money pre-fight and then you're kind of stuck playing around a couple of rotations from that one angle you've chosen.
Makes sense.
That being said, nice shots. Like this was, if you hold the angle, you win this fight, I think. Your poor Anna's like, why doesn't she nade? Oh, she gets him. Nice. Okay. See, the nice thing about us not being able to skip forward is we get to appreciate all the niceties,
Yeah.
little details here and there. I mean, sure.
Yeah, I saw people were dead, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think you'll catch waves, so you're okay. I mean, you can go for it.
Sorry. How do you get up top? Is there a way to get up top from this side? Like, no, sorry, like from the outside at all right now?
No, that's it.
No, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's
normally
only
just going.
I mean, you could just press like your jump key really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a secret. You can do it on console.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
This is one of those moments where because you're Cassidy, you could just do this. Now you do this with Venture too, but like you really, this is a skill check.
Yeah, I low-key just walk past him. Just not here.
Like that's just a skill check, you know what I'm saying? So just check your corners. Like you don't like the only character that you really have to be extremely scared of in these corners is Junkrat.
Yeah.
And to a much lesser extent, Reaper. Torbjorn, I mean, Reaper Torb will give you some fits, right? But like again, equally skilled, optimally played. Cassidy's just the GOAT. In fact, I actually coached Junkrat players, so it's like you shouldn't be scared of anybody in a small room, except just be careful of Cassidy's, because they could just hit the shots, they hit the Hinder, they hit the roll to live that one burst, and you might be in trouble. So Cassidy, when you have cooldowns, is like the second best close range duelist in the game, I think.
Okay.
So
and the first being Junkrat?
Junkrat, yeah. Junkrat, yep. Yeah, Junkrat. Reaper is not. Reaper's fine, but Reaper like requires a phenomenal shot and has a lot more mobility choices. So it's kind of weird to think about it that way, but Cassidy really is better. Like I look at this here and it's like equally skilled Torb, equally skilled Cass. Unless Torb just goes crazy, like he's gonna lose this. Like you need to be honestly a little bit more confident there. Like even with Overload, like just play the corner, hit the shot, hit the roll. Like he's cooked. Like he just can't win that. Like those were nice shots, yeah, but like even just body shot Bandit, like you're just a demon.
It's high tide.
Angle, late. I think we just heard Sleep Dart, which is obviously a nice plus as well. And not Sniper, but longer. You're gonna get a 2K here at least. Yep, there it is. Nice job. And you see how like your initial decent, it was high risk, but good choice of angle naturally led into a high noon.
Yeah, one curiosity there. Is it better just wait for both the skulls to pop up?
No.
Or just kind of...
No. Unless you're... I mean, it's situational, but if there's any question in your mind, just pull it.
Okay, fair enough.
Any question in your mind, there's no downside to just letting it rip. Now, you do need to choose the perk here. I don't know if you've realized it.
I did not.
That's okay. You're fine. Careful. It's not your effective range. Yeah, see, this is where you're venturing. Literally. Yeah. So this is not where your team is fighting. So you cannot take an angle engagement here. Now, if you want to go high risk, high reward and crouch and wait until they walk towards point and then come from behind, like a venture, that's okay with me. Oh, you just chose it. Nice. Okay. But you can't engage now because you would be the only one engaging right now because this is where your team is. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just be cautious. This also isn't not really a strong point for your effective range either. And see, your Roadhog tries to bail you out, and then he ends up like getting smoked.
Yeah.
What is this guy doing?
Okay.
Careful. Not tank.
Yeah.
Like you can hold the angle and poke tank, just don't walk into tank.
Yeah.
Sure. Same thing here. Be careful about... Occasionally, I could smell the bloodlust, and I think I could smell the confidence as well because you have been hitting some nice shots. But then you just push into a tank or into a choke and out of cover. If you get antinated or slept here, you're dead.
Yeah.
Right, and you might even be dead anyway. Just holding the angle here is fine, but there's a difference between poking from the angle and walking into the angle. It honestly, like, it is different from Venture in some aspects, but it's the same thing I'd coach for Venture. If I was coaching your Venture here, I would say, hey, unless you have Drill Dash and they're one, don't push, please. Just hold the angle and poke. You hold the corner and hold the angle, right? Same thing.
Yeah, I think for Cass, I focus a lot on, hit the shot, and I kind of forget about everything else.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna let the previous next session and we're going. Okay. Because like all of a sudden this goes from like a duel that we could have very comfortably won to being a duel that we lost because we just didn't have CDs and didn't have HP. So
Yeah.
the angle again, the initial angle itself, I would definitely describe this as more like low risk, low reward, or medium risk, medium reward. But it's fine.
Okay.
It was good. It was a good decision. The execution was just lacking. Yeah, might as well give it a shot.
Yeah.
How's it going?
One of the things that is unique about Cassidy is you'll find yourself, it's not as applicable here, playing into Genjis and Tracers, where they will punish those higher risk, deeper flanks because they're also good up close.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Genji is in that 3rd or 4th place with close range duels, right? Actually, arguably even better than Reaper, because he could just choose to leave if he doesn't like it, right?
Yeah.
So angles like this are fine, but may not be necessary if they're on Genji Tracer.
Okay.
The flip side is also true. If this was not Tor, but this was Widowmaker, you would not really feel comfortable holding soft poke angles as often. Now, if you could LOS the Widow, sure, but you might be encouraged to do goofy things like this.
Okay.
Remember, the slower they are, the longer range they are. Is like the general universal rule, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, deeper
Definitely
angle like
comfortable
this. Yeah, I mean, well, it's okay in a few seconds, but it still feels like a sniper angle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, this just feels a little too far.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of the case in point. So this is where you're going to have fewer options. If you do this, you have to literally hide and wait. If you do this, you can be a little more comfortable. You could do this, be a little bit more comfortable. You know, you got options, but yeah, I understand. I don't hate this because I look at that fight right there. That is you stretching your wings.
Yeah.
Not to be corny and poetic here, but you're trying something out. Didn't work out. I'm telling you why. The angle itself is too far. And they also scouted you early. But I appreciate the attempt there to experiment. Oh my days, yeah. You guys got kind of pummeled, no pun intended. Okay.
Yeah.
Let us take some notes. Cassidy. We survived the replay code. And it was a good one too. It was a really good one because it actually showed a lot of things that you're doing really well. And just some major screw-ups that cost you. But honestly, like a lot of things that I think you did well. What did you do well? Relative to a, high gold player. Let's put it that way. Actually, relative to a plat player. Let's just go ahead and give you the gold star.
I think my aim was pretty good there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Were pretty decent.
I think so too.
I think generally I had good ideas for the angles.
Yep, I agree.
I don't know.
So where did your angles lack? So you said the angles were the ideas, the creativity was good. You've got a great foundation with which to go further with, which makes sense given your venture background. So where were the angles lacking?
I think the angles were. I think I took a lot of like low risk angles. When I could have just been, look for more reward, I guess.
Mm-hmm. More in the spawn camp, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, that, but also the second point last fight, on defense.
Yeah.
I
put some notes in there on like pressing W. Sometimes you're so locked into the mechanical side of things that you break positional rules, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about your CD usage? Your roll, hinder? Probably not something you think about as much, and it's not the most crucial thing ever, but it's definitely some details here. What do you think?
Hi. I think I can probably get better at using roll to stop bursts of damage rather than just kind of like I think I just mindlessly use it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then for hinder, I think I need to use it more. I need to use it more. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be not willing to use it when people are in my face or whatever.
Yeah. The weird thing is saving hinder is situational.
Okay.
It's the default to you, as you said, just use it when they're up close. You can layer it comfortably between your shots. It's just free real estate. The slow also allows you to hit your shots easier. Just use it. Just use it. Saving it when there's a Sombra or a Wrecking Ball threat is also fine. But that's, again, more contextual. It's generally the more often that you just kind of use it to layer your damage. Okay? What about your ultimates?
I learned that it doesn't have fall-off range. But that I don't know. I need to use it after like use it second, I guess is the right word. I need to, better angles, I guess, and keep the angle.
I mean, there's obviously the intention of the change with high noon is that you can drop and chase and pop somebody off, right? But you got to ask yourself, is that going to happen, or am I going to put myself in a really bad spot? That just comes with experience. Crosshair placement pulled up a tiny bit, and finding times when you don't need to strafe first couple shots on angles. Especially in deeper angles, right? Like you talk about that flank on first point, right? She has no idea that you are there. And so you are completely safe, and yet it is very important that you get that kill.
Yes.
Lots of good things to say. Lots of good things to say. So you should feel encouraged. Your mechanics are better than I expected, at least in this particular example. So well done.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. Any other questions?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.